On a quiet evening in April 2021, as Britain's political climate continued to reel from the impact of the pandemic, Keir Starmer, then leader of the Labour Party, visited the historic city of Bath in southwest England. Amid the cobbled streets and Georgian architecture, he entered a local pub called the Raven as part of a campaign tour aimed at regaining public trust. But within moments, the visit took an unexpected turn. Rod Humphries, the pub's owner, confronted Starmer angrily and accused him of failing to oppose the government's strict lockdown measures, policies that, he argued, had devastated local businesses. "You don't represent me," Humphries said, "or the people who lost their livelihoods because of exaggerated restrictions." The incident, caught on video by a bystander, quickly spread across British social media. To some, it was a powerful expression of suppressed public anger. To others, it was an uncivil attack on a national leader. News outlets like The Guardian and BBC News reported the confrontation with nuance, noting it wasn't about a security breach or ideological extremism, it was about a citizen's frustration with political decisions affecting daily life. Back then, the video was just a blip in the news cycle. But 4 years later, in July 2025, it resurfaced in a completely different political context, and with a dramatically misleading twist. This time, social media posts claimed the Irish man heroically ejects British Prime Minister for supporting Israel. The clip went viral once more. Thousands believed the incident had occurred recently, in Ireland, and as a protest against Britain's stance on Gaza. Influential accounts on X, formerly Twitter, reposted it with incendiary captions, turning a local lockdown protest into a tale of geopolitical resistance. Yet the truth couldn't have been further removed. Fact-checkers like BBC Verify and Full Fact stepped in to clarify, the video was from April 2021, well before Starmer became Prime Minister. The pub was in Bath, not Dublin. And the confrontation had absolutely nothing to do with Israel or Palestine, it was about COVID restrictions and political accountability. Still, the damage was done. The public debate shifted, and Starmer found himself under renewed pressure to clarify his foreign policy positions. Within the Labour Party, murmurs grew, not just about misinformation, but about whether the leadership had lost touch with its base. MPs and commentators alike questioned how easily narratives could be hijacked online and how vulnerable public trust had become. The incident sparked a broader conversation about digital misinformation. Articles in The Independent and iNews called for stricter regulations around repurposing old content in political discourse. Members of Parliament demanded new legislation to counter manipulative social media tactics, especially during election cycles. Yet beneath the noise, the original moment remained revealing. Rod Humphries wasn't a provocateur, he was a frustrated citizen who felt unheard. And in that brief encounter at the Raven, he exposed a deeper truth: the gap between political leadership and everyday Britons was growing. In that single outburst, Starmer, calm, silent, and cornered, stood as a symbol of political detachment in the face of raw anger. In the end, this wasn't just a pub scuffle. It was a snapshot of national tension, a reminder that leadership isn't only about policy but about presence, accountability, and human connection. And in a media landscape where one moment can be twisted into another, truth itself becomes a contested battleground. So before we share, react, or judge, we must pause, verify, and understand. Because in a country like ours, where democracy is built on dialogue, awareness is power, and information is our weapon.